Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and it's Manchester City against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. Let me tell you a quick story. I'd left it on Sky and all I could see was a load of Scousers singing You'll Never Walk Alone for their Champions bloody parade game. We're not here to watch that. We're not here to watch that. Unless Spurs start doing well. But Rasmus is the next Ronnie, says Fionn. Thank you very much, everybody in the chat here. Lovely stuff. So we're about to get going here. FA Cup semi-final yesterday. Look, let's be very, very clear. Crystal Palace deserved that. And they were the underdog. So maybe we could get Forest doing it today against Man City. I don't think so. I actually think that this game has the potential, from a prediction point of view, and I really hope I'm wrong, that I think it's got the potential for Man City to run away with it. My prediction is that Man City will win it quite comfortably, but I hope I'm wrong. And I have been wrong about Forest quite a few times this season, so I'm hoping I'm going to be wrong again. But team news on the screen for you there. Manchester City lining up for this game as favourites, of course. And look, Forest are having a good season. They're having a very good season. Whether they're going to get top five or not, we'll have to wait and see. But Ortega, Nunez, Diaz, Vardiel, O'Reilly, Kovacic, Lewis and Silva, Savio, Grealish and Mamouche. A bit of rotation there. He doesn't normally go for the flair players like Savio, Grealish and Doku, but he has done it today. Forest going with Sells, Abbott, Milenkovic, Murillo, Toffolo, Anderson, Danilo, Gibbs-White, Dominguez, Hudson-Odoi and Wood. Alanga's on the bench. I don't really understand that. He got took off at half-time against Spurs, so maybe he's got an injury there. I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me, but he doesn't start. Jack Grealish starting for Man City's interesting. Don't really see him as a footballer anymore, so it's interesting to see him in a game. Almost feels like Soccer Aid seeing Grealish on the pitch. But look, in relation to the league table today, Liverpool are 13 points ahead of Liverpool of Arsenal as it stands. So I'm right in saying a draw will do. A draw will do for Liverpool today. It's only a Spurs win that stops Liverpool winning the title. And we're up and running in this FA Cup game as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Legends. Busy day today. Yeah. But look. Just watch United. That's tiring. This should be a good game. FA Cup semi-final to play Crystal Palace in the final. I tell you what, I'd love to see Forest play Crystal Palace in the final. I mean, that would be an enjoyable final, wouldn't it? I mean, two massive underdogs and not seeing one of the traditional top six winning the FA Cup. Man City looking to get to the FA Cup for the third time in 3 years. Liverpool winning their 20th title in front of Spurs is like telling a homeless person you just purchased their second house, says BZ. I actually think Spurs will be really happy that Liverpool are going to be parading the Premier League title. You know, it's like the unpopular person being invited round to the popular person's house party, isn't it? You know, you never get invited to parties, and here you are at a good one. I mean, because they never see trophies. I think we've seen Bigfoot more than Spurs winning trophies. So they'll be really excited that there's a real life trophy going to be within a few metres of them later on. I'm setting myself... I've just realised I wish I'd never said that, because I'm sort of setting myself up if Spurs and Man United play each other in the Europa League final and Spurs win. Yeah. But City starting off well here. I think this is going to be a theme for the game. Tiki-taka, tiki-taka, tiki-taka. And then 1-0. There we go. Game over. Game over already, I think. 1-0 City. Rico Lewis. I literally called this one. I really did. I think this is going to be an absolute shit game. I really do. I think City are going to find it very easy against the defensive side if they score first, And that's exactly what's happened. It's a good goal as well, but you've got to look at the Forest defending. I mean, Sells is a good goalkeeper. He ain't never saving that. Bottom corner finish from Lewis. How's he getting that much space so early in the game? They've got... Look, why is there so many empty seats? Look at all them empty seats up there. What's that all about? Jesus, did you see that? It's about 5,000 empty seats. Right, that's the real quiz. What the hell was that in the background? What the hell was that in the background? City allocation. That is mad. Unsold allocated seats for City. Or it might be protest, I think. FA Cup semi-final and have a huge like that. I don't know. It's like the National League playoff final. There's hardly anyone there. Sorry if this has been answered, but what's happening with the podcast? Back tomorrow, Elizabeth. That was easy. Over to Liverpool game then, says Robbo. Yeah, I mean, I might have to in a minute. Might bloody have to. Pep said it's because it's far away. It's a long way from Manchester to London. Yeah, really is a long way. You're getting battered in the final score comment, says NAU. Am I? Let's have a look. Thank you for the heads up. So 1-0 to City already. They're dominating here. I think what it is, people just don't understand that that's a good result when you're losing 1-0 and you get a late equaliser. But I've had that before. We had it against Brentford. We were losing against Brentford at Old Trafford and we won 2-1 and people just didn't think it was a good result. Yeah, a lot of these people just need blocking. They're just not Man United fans. It's not that bad. Do you think Forest will get back into it? No. No, I don't. But NAU, like, there's about 2 comments on the match reaction that are bad. Most of them are fine. They're fine. Okay. Thoughts on Spurs requesting their game before the Europa League final to be rescheduled before they've made the final, says Dan Elias. It's probably I mean, I'm not going to take the piss out of Spurs for that, mate. It's probably not a bad idea. God, there's another load of empty seats there. Well, somebody explain it to me in simple terms. Are Man City, have they just got no fans, or are they legitimately moaning about prices? Because, like, you've had a lot of success. It's not like I don't know what's going on. I don't want to come across as, ignorant, but I really don't know what they're moaning about. On Spurs requesting their Europa League final game before it to be rescheduled, I mean, you've got to do it early, haven't you? So why have all the Forest fans sold their tickets then and Man City haven't? Are they being charged more? Dan77 says Villa prices cost way more. Fairly grim afternoon. Do I watch City steamroll the way to a final, or Spurs bending over to let Liverpool win the league? Might just sign off, says Nick P. There is a United Stand show at 8 o'clock, mate, so don't worry about that. But it's a crap start by Forest. I don't know what it is with Man City, right? They haven't got Rodri. They haven't got De Bruyne. They haven't got Haaland. And Villa did this on Tuesday night. Teams still respect them. Like, they are a vulnerable side. You can get at them. So get at them. I don't understand why teams don't have a go. Come on, Mark. Watch Liverpool in the league, win the league. Oh, Kieran, you know, watching Liverpool winning the league. It's only 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I can't say what it would be like. But I can't do a sexual one, but watching Liverpool win the league is like watching the person at school you hated turn up to a school reunion doing a Ferrari. It's just, I just get out, you know. They're our rival. They deserve to win the league, but I'm not going to watch it. Like Mike says, I'd rather get a colonoscopy. Here we go. Could be 2-0 here. Forest are getting... I tell you what, if this goes 2-0, I'm switching it off. I am going to Liverpool. Not literally going to the city, but I am going to go and watch that game. Come on, Mark, watch Liverpool. No. If Liverpool win, are they drawn on titles with United? You know they are, Liam. You know they are. Don't start that. Oh, shit. We've been to Wembley many times and I've never seen so many empty seats in our end before. We've been there many times and at worst I've only seen a handful, says James Gavin. I don't know. So many empty seats. It's just an easy tweet, isn't it? They're all over them, though, City. He's got to sort this out, Nuno. Spurs have scored, apparently. Let's have a look. Yeah, Solanke. God, you know it's bad. Solanke with the header. Goal. 1-0. Wow, makes it more exciting. Ange, have that, you prick. Bloody Spurs. Don't Spurs better not start playing well now, you know. Watch Spurs turn into prime Barcelona for the last month of the season so they can win the Europa League. Spurs probably would beat United at the moment. That's the bad thing. Why do City jersey numbers look like a child painted them on, says Natalie. I think it's meant to be like edgy. It is 1-0 to Spurs then. Solanke's scored. City all over Forest here. City are pinging the ball around very well at the moment. Oh, what's gone wrong here? Off the underside, thank you very much for your super chat. What are your thoughts on West Ham at the moment, says Jack? I think West Ham are in a very similar situation to United in some ways, in the sense that until you give Potter a summer, a pre-season and a transfer window, it's very difficult to... Look, I think Leicester are a prime example of this as well. You bring in Ruud van Nistelrooy in a club that was always going to get relegated. You don't give him a pre-season, you don't give him a transfer window, and you're going to sack him. And I just think it's weird. It's almost like the swipe left, swipe right generation, shorts, TikTok, all that. It's just this need to be impatient. And I think at West Ham, Graham Potter is a good coach, but it's ridiculously hard to come in and change a club in season, especially when they're not used to playing the style of football that you play, which is why I think people like Unai Emery deserve the praise they get in the sport, because look at what he did coming in after Gerrard. It can be done, but it's not easy to do. And I suppose it also depends on the squad that you're inheriting. I mean, I actually think West Ham have got some good players, but if they don't suit what Potter wants, then they're going to have to change that around, aren't they? And I also think West Ham struggle more than Manchester United, because there's Bournemouth, there's Fulham, there's Brentford, there's Forest, there's Brighton, and all those clubs would expect are better than West Ham this year. So how do West Ham move up the league table at the moment when they're not actually better than a lot of the clubs above them? Have Liverpool scored? Gibbs White. Oh, I thought he was going to shoot. Maybe he should have had a shot. No, it's offside for Liverpool. Still 1-0. We're flicking back and forth here. Thanks everyone for all the updates. I mean, Liverpool are going to win the league anyway. But if they don't win today, then their next opportunity to win it is going to be away from home at Chelsea. So, it will spoil the party if Spurs win today. I think it's a goal, not offside in my opinion. Let's have a look. I think they're going to give it. Hold on a minute. The referee is saying hold on. He's saying hold on. He's now saying goal. 1-1 Liverpool. Diaz celebrates. Probably one of the few times VAR goal checks has actually worked, because it's such a big goal for Liverpool at Anfield. 1-1. That would give them the title a point. And Diaz has scored. Well, imagine if it hadn't been given. Wouldn't be the first time Luis Diaz scored an onside goal against Liverpool and it wasn't given. LMA wants to know if it was who got the assist. If anyone knows, let me know. Off the underside, thank you very much for your super chat, by the way. Only Man City... Oh, he's miles on, isn't he? He's miles on. Only Man City could turn Wembley into empty. Nearly worked, Jason. What do you think of my beloved Barcelona's win over Real Madrid? What chance do you give us winning the Champions League? Keep up with great work, says Ryle. I really wish I'd watched it, mate. I really do. I think last night I should have done a watch along for that. And I apologise to this amazing community, because I should have done. I should have watched that game. But I just think it never really got on my radar. And a lot of people were saying, why don't you do one? And I never thought about it, and I should have done. It's lucky for Spurs when the year ends in 1, so we should be fine until 2031. Not much for them in the Europa. Hope for them in the Europa, says Nick P. I think they'll get past Bodo Glimt though, won't they? I fancy Arsenal to win the Premier League next year, Dimitri, but I think it's going to be a very interesting summer for Liverpool as well. Coral says no trophy lift today. They're not lifting the trophy today. Why not? Surely. That can't be true. You win the league, you get the trophy. I think that's a load of bollocks. Man United had to reassure us today, Europa will be tough, says Saturday. Oh, mate, the amount of United fans who are being so miserable about a draw at Bournemouth is incredible. It's like, I genuinely think some of our fans want us to be shit. I don't think they know what they want. Like, last week against Wolves, all I heard was, we've just lost to a shit Wolves team. Oh, a shit Wolves team that's won 6 and 7. And then today, Bournemouth are like trying to get into Europe in 8th. Oh, I can't believe we're celebrating a late equaliser against Bournemouth. Well, have you looked at the league table? Ban Neville, says Flash. Do NBA playoffs watch-alongs, says Dan. Mate, me doing NBA playoff watch-alongs would be funny. I don't really understand it. Kyla says the comments on Rasmus's Instagram are disgusting. Well, I tell you what, be a good person. Get on there now and like mine and leave one of your own. And we'll get the top. We'll turn a negative into a positive. Be good. That's how you deal with that sort of stuff. I've got a mate from school who's at Wembley, and he's been giving me so much shit all the time. And City scored, and I just sent him a laughing emoji, and all I've got is 6 up yours emojis back. The thing is, I would like them to win, but this is just a mates thing. There's always an upside in every football scoreline, I think. What's your thoughts on the 49ers taking over Rangers? Do you think they'll compete with Celtic and in Europe? I hope so, off the underside, because, what is it, 13 titles in 14 is bloody ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Come on, Forest, get back into this a little bit. City have started off really well here. He's offside, surely. Hold on a minute. Am I getting this right? Oh no, he is playing. I didn't think I would. I was looking for Chris Wood. I couldn't see him. There he is. I've got Wood. Forest looks shell-shocked and City are dominating, says Mohit. Yes. And are you doing a Napoli title watch-along, says Robert McCormack. When would that be, Robert? I wouldn't mind doing a bit of that. I don't think I've ever done a Serie A watch-along, and I'm a massive fan of it. So they play 38 games in the... Inter have lost their last 2 games. Incredible. Napoli have got a great chance of winning that league. They're top with a game in hand on the same points. But why Napoli not playing tonight? When do they play their game in hand? Match day 33. Oh, they're playing Torino tonight. Looking at the games that they've got left, I think Napoli probably will win it. Parma. I think they're going to win it, Robert. They've got a really good run in. Liverpool have scored again. Let's have a look. Buy 7 Nintendo Switch 2 or I ban this channel, says Daniel. Why would he need a Switch 2? Forrester looking shell shocks. We've done that one. Thank you very much. Looks like it's Lexi McAllister who scored it. I haven't seen it yet. Here we go. Cross. Spurs playing out from the back. Twats. Good goal. Good goal. That's how you shoot from the edge of the box. See, I don't mind shooting from the edge of the box if you actually can do it. I mean, look at this for a hit. Bloody hell. Absolute pile driver. On target, left foot, 2-1. Yeah, looks like you're going to be champions, Liverpool. I mean, you were always going to be champions. And look, can I just say I told you so? I did do a video on this channel back in December saying Liverpool will win the league. And I have been proven right. No, Mark, not underestimating Bournemouth, but they highlighted our issues. Delo is a loss and Shaw needs to focus. Garnacho's shots need to stop. Oh, I completely agree. Completely agree, Sati. Completely agree. Right. How do Forest get back into this game? Stop. Look at these red seats. That's the man's... I saw more seats filled in the National League final. Offside. Coney says Liverpool game is a cracker. What a goal. It's a cracker if you're a Liverpool fan, mate, or you want Liverpool to win it. Collins, welcome to the Members Club. Did you watch the Copa del Rey final? And what are your thoughts on Madrid complaining about the refs? That's a bit like, you know, ultimately I think officiating in the Premier League is abysmal. And I saw it today in the Bournemouth game. But, you know, as a United fan, I look at where we are in the league and we can't really, referees aren't why we're there. But officiating is bad. I mean, look, I don't know. I didn't watch that game, so I can't really say. Ronaldo McTominay R9S9, says Robert McCormack. I bet you got pictures of both. Love your glasses, Mark, says Harry. In my opinion, Spurs shouldn't play in the Premier League. Boring and irrelevant. Hope the channel does well. Thanks, pal. Thoughts on wiring a heartbeat monitor on United games, says Sam. We've thought about doing that before, actually. I think it'd be a good idea. It might stop me watching them when my doctor says, stop doing it. It's bad for your health. .26 minutes gone. I mean, City seem to have just dropped off a little bit here. It was a very, very intentional, obviously, from Pep, intense start. You can't keep that up for 90 minutes. So maybe Forest can find a way. When's the podcast? When? It's back tomorrow, Daniel. Be out about 1 o'clock tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm right. This is exactly what I read. O'Reilly, bloody hell. Good shot. I think he's going to be a good player. Unfortunately, this is turning into exactly what I predicted this game would be. A dominant Man City performance. This doesn't look like two top 5 sides playing against each other. For some reason, Man City are just on a different level. Wait till you see Ricky's magic card trick about Bruno. You'll love it. Keep up the great work from Australia. This is B16. I feel I need to see this now. Thank you very much for your super chats. I'm just watching this Ricky card trick. He's got a magic card trick. Okay, I'll look at this. Hold on, Man City are on the attack. Cross comes in, cleared away. He's actually gone with a load of bloody cards. So he's producing cards. None of them is card. He's harsh. He's harsh on Bruno, he's Ricky, I think. Did you watch the boxing last night? No. I watched the film, Sam. I have to take the L last night. I didn't watch the Copa del Rey and I didn't watch the Eubank Ben fight. I didn't watch the Eubank Ben fight because I felt it was a bit of a... I didn't feel like it was a fight. I felt it was... it felt a bit like Misfits. A bit like... You know... Logan Paul versus Tyson, whatever. It just felt a little bit not boxing to me. But to be fair, I know a lot of people who like boxing and they said, oh, you know, it was actually really good. So... I think I did miss out. But it was a family night as well last night. You know, I don't regret that sometimes. You know, you've got to... You know, sometimes I just don't feel like I need a break. I do feel like I need a break. Which Arsenal players would you take for United, Ernie? All of them. It's more a question of who I wouldn't take. I mean, literally, your starting 11 would be... Yeah. Is the Guard of Honour compulsory, says Chile Centre. I don't know. How often do you need to do... I've seen Alexi McAllister's goal, Anthony. It was bloody lovely. Absolutely blasted it. How many times do you get a Guard of Honour? Lee Berman's right. You do need to switch off sometimes for mental health. I just felt yesterday after the 8 o'clock show on the United Stand, I did just need to go and watch a film. Good play by Savio. Good defending. You only do... Like James Hunt says, you get a Guard of Honour for every game after you've won the league. I don't remember that. I don't remember that being the case. I thought it was like just for one game, for your next home game. But maybe you get it for every game then. Maybe that's what happens. That was my stomach, not a fart. Ricky's Bruno obsession is tiring, very tiring. It's on the United Stand Twitter page if you want to watch it. Does Ricky receive a pension? Oh, Ricky's getting hate now. Thank you very much, Parker. They are lifting the trophy today. Stop falling for the trolls in the chat. Like, there's no way that wouldn't happen. Liverpool goal again. What the hell? 3-1. They are worse than Man United, aren't they? I mean, the fact that Ange was fisting the crowd when they got the 1-0 Solanke goal after 3 minutes. I mean, this reminds me of my daughter's final yesterday. We played Chelsea in the final yesterday. Scored in the first couple of minutes. And, you know, it felt like it was just too early. And they ended up losing 6-1. And I understand why players get excited. But Ange... in this situation, I saw him celebrate it was a good goal by Gakpo as well. I saw him celebrating the equaliser, and I saw him celebrating the goal to go ahead. You're 3-1 down after 35 minutes. Offside here for Forest, I think. Good defending anyway. Just off topic, says Mohammed, are United linked to any good American players like Reina from Dortmund, and Forest need to step it up if they want to reach the final? They do, actually. At the moment, it just feels like Man City are in cruise control. It might open the game up in the second half, though, because I suppose if Forest score first, it's just going to be defence against attack until Man City equalise. Where in this situation, Forest have got to find a way to score, haven't they? The day of season, they lift the league, says Leon Cox. The last day of the season, they lift the league, the trophy. So they're not getting the trophy today. I mean, mate, if you'd have asked me this 10 years ago, I'd be able to tell you everything about the formalities of winning the Premier League. It's been a while since United have won it. I don't remember how many Guard of Honours you get, and I don't remember when you get the actual trophy. But they should be getting the trophy today. They've won the league. Give them the trophy. I am keeping up to date with the Liverpool game, but obviously I'm not a Liverpool fan. I'm a Man United fan, so watching them have their 20th title party is not... I can be respectful in a certain sense. I have got a video ready to go for Liverpool at full time. So, you know, I'm not being disrespectful, but I can't sit there and enjoy it. Thoughts on playing right back Leeds, playing RB Leeds United next season, says Big Mac Daddy. Look, you know what? We're not winning the league anytime soon anyway. I think when United were good, I'd have been saying, oh, Leeds just makes it harder to win the league because it's another 2 games a season against a rival that hate us. But we're not going to win the league, so I quite like Leeds being back because it's just another 2 more interesting games in the Prem. Reagan says, I thought Mark wasn't going to pre-record match reactions. It's not a match reaction. It's not a match reaction. It's a video champions. It's nothing to do with the Spurs game. I recorded it in December. The Christmas tree's still up. Should have done that, actually. That would have been brilliant if I'd had the tree up going, I told you they were going to win the league, and I said it in December. Leeds are rubbish. It'll be an easy 6 points, says Barat. There's nothing easy about 6 points for Man United. Rahul says, you're being disrespectful. This is not the United stand. We're talking about Liverpool, mate. Liverpool are playing a game and they're about to be title holders. If there was stuff to talk about in the FA Cup, mate, your fans can't even be asked to turn up. I'm not a Man City fan. We're just waiting for Forest to do something, and they're not. If you want me to talk about the Man City game, maybe get your fucking fans to turn up first. If they can't be asked, why should we? Yeah, Penelope's right. To be fair, Mark, you did say in December it was Liverpool's title. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll leave it for the chat for the video I've done, but nobody's got anywhere near them, have they? Double D says Spurs are so rubbish. Why are Spurs so rubbish? That could be a video in its title. No one would watch it, though. But why are they so rubbish? Like, I know Liverpool are the best team in the league, but Liverpool haven't really been firing in the last few weeks. They're 3-1 down to Liverpool here. And their lineup is Vicario, Spence, Danzo, Davies, Adogi, Bergvall, Gray, Maddison, Johnson, Solanke and Tell. Now, is he resting players for Thursday? Yes. Van der Ven's on the bench. Richarlison's on the bench. Romero's on the bench. Porro's on the bench. Kulusevski's on the bench. So he's resting players, isn't he? I'm worried Belieber will go in the summer, Mark, says Dan. I'd go. Mate, it's a niche take. It's a hot take, but I stand by it. That Brighton coach should be sacked. Actually, that's the first time. It's the first time I've said that. I went too far. He's massively underachieved. Brighton, I think, have massively underachieved. When you look at, and I might be able to get it up for you here, when you look at the league table, and I will get it, just while I'm doing that, please do subscribe to the channel. Massive week on That's Football this week. Arsenal PSG on Tuesday, watch along. Inter Barcelona on Wednesday, watch along. Can't wait. Can't wait. What a couple of weeks we've got. Can Arsenal get to a Champions League final for the first time since 2006, was it, against Barcelona? It could be a repeat. But no, what I was going to say is, let's have a look at the table, by the way, because we may as well have that on the stats carousel, being as Liverpool are going to win it. Man City on the attack here with Nunez. 5 minutes to go to half-time. But, yeah, look at that. Brighton, 51 points. I just think when you look at that Brighton team, and I know people will go, oh, no, it's good for Brighton. It's overachieving for Brighton. I disagree. Brighton are behind Fulham and Forest. And I think that the Brighton squad should have another 10 points. I'd expect Brighton to be where Chelsea are this year and where Forest are this year. And they're not in Europe. I think next season's a big season for him. And my prediction is he'll get the sack next year. So yeah, maybe Belieber will go. Jamie Hunt says, as a Brighton fan, we're all happy with a top 10 finish. Well, that's all right then. That's your club. I think your squad's better than that when you look at what other people have achieved. But if your fan base is happy with that, then it'll be fine. When do I think Everton will win a trophy? Never. Oh no, I mean, no, probably never. I don't, unless they start. I think. Look, you need money these days, and you need sustained money. And I don't know whether Everton are planning on doing that. Look, Villa. When will Villa win a trophy? Bloody Ange resting players so they can be fresh for Bilbao, Baggins, or whoever it is they're playing. They deserve nothing, says Nick P. I think it's a clever move by Ange, really, because if you pick your strongest team against Liverpool, you're not winning anyway, are you? So you may as well pick your weakened team. But he's probably going to lose his job. If I was Ange, honestly, if I know I'm losing my job, even if I win the Europa League, why would I pick my strong team against Liverpool? I'd be like, let me give myself the best chance possible. Because if he wins the Europa League and gets the sack, he'll be able to go to loads of clubs and say, Spurs is a fucking mess and I still won the Europa League. Who's going to give me a job? Starving I am. Bloody starving, mate. Well, that Ricky clip's getting a lot of... doing a lot of controversy. Right. 2 minutes to go. I don't think Forest have had a chance, have they? Honest opinion on Trent, Mark, says Anthony Clark. A world-class fullback who's probably going to Real Madrid. What red are you going to get on Thursday, Mark? Malbec. Get a nice bottle of Malbec on Thursday. It's the tradition now for the Europa League. Kevin says, will most of the World Cup games be early hours for UK because of USA time zones? You tend to cater for us in Europe, mate. I remember the 94 World Cup, which was in the States, and predominantly the kickoff times were 9 o'clock at night. I think they had a 9 o'clock at night, a 11 o'clock at night, and 2:30 in the morning. But all of the quarterfinals and stuff were always the 9 o'clock at night game. Get the stats round, Mark. I knew that's what I was trying to do. Stats carousel was not working. Here we go. Take. So, yeah. Forest have had no shots at all, no corners, and 24% possession. Oh my God. It's like Man City are playing bloody Stockport. These are two top 5 types. These are top 6 clubs this season. Apparently, AI has predicted Brighton to get Europe. Anyway, Eagles come on Forest, says Jack. Final will be very different. You know, the reality is, if City get to the final, and I think they will, the final is going to be very similar, isn't it? I mean, fair play to Forest being where they are, but I always said, every time I've watched them this season, they're not a good watch. Anyway, we've got the Champions League this week. Really looking forward to it. Arsenal, PSG. Epic Clip says, regarding the Premier League, which teams do you think will qualify for the Champions League next year? Next year, Arsenal, Liverpool, City. I wouldn't put Newcastle in it if they're in the Champions League. I think it's very difficult to play in the new Champions League format and get in the top 5 if you're not a traditional Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City. So Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, definitely in the top 5. Half time here. And then I don't really know. I don't really know. So yeah, half time here. Let's have a look if it's half time in the Liverpool game. It soon will be. Terrible game, says Mr. Hunt. I literally said this. I literally said that this game would be like this. Not the best watch, with Man City cruising through. And at the moment, that's what it is. So I look at the second half, and surely he's going to open up a little bit. But if they don't, it's going to be very, very easy for Manchester City to win the game. In cruise control. Sorry, I've lost the live chat here. Thoughts on Pep chewing his own saliva, says Suleiman. Opinion on championship winner, Leeds or Burnley, says Jamie. I don't really massively care, mate, if I'm being honest. I'm more interested in if any of those teams can actually come up and give us a relegation battle. I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. I mean, I was looking at the relegation. You can look at it. This, to me, is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Look at this. Look at this. That's your relegation this season. Third from bottom is 15 points off fourth from bottom. 15 points. Southampton haven't even got 15 points. Leicester have only got 3 points more than 15 points. It's a gulf. An absolute gulf. I mean, the clever thing is you can combine bottom and second from bottom and bottom and third from bottom points, and they wouldn't stay up. Ipswich plus Southampton's points, 32 points, still relegated. Leicester and Southampton's points, obviously, 29 points, still relegated. In fact, if you combine third from bottom and second from bottom, that would only put them just above Tottenham. That's shit. That is absolutely shit. So my primary thoughts with the Championship is, can any of these clubs stay up? Because if they can't stay up, we've already got a Super League. We've basically got a Super League. I don't know what you do if next season 3 up, 3 down again. That would be 3 years in a row of 3 up, 3 down. You just can't have that. It's a big problem. I saw it coming. Some of us saw it coming. I said it last year and somebody said, but it's the first time we've had 3 up, 3 down in years. And I said, but it's going to happen next year. Wow. Well, it did. It's even worse this year. So there is a huge problem and it's trajecting in only one way. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We are only 200 subscribers away from 321,000. Get involved with That's Football. Big summer coming up ahead. We don't stop for the summer. There's the Club World Cup, but there's also the transfer window, and that's where the real quiz is. We will be reacting to all the big transfer stories this summer on That's Football. So get involved, whoever you support. Look, I know what's happening with United. Well, I don't know who we're signing, but I know it's going to be an interesting summer with United. But God, on That's Football, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, what's happening with Man City in the 115? What will Villa do? Newcastle. There's so many twists and turns. I think it's going to be really, really interesting this summer. So get involved and subscribe. I haven't decided what we're doing with the Club World Cup yet, but I'm sure we'll do something. I'm sure we will do something. Luke says, in order to stay up, the best strategy really is to do a Forest. Sit really deep and counter. It's boring. At least Southampton were half entertaining. Yeah, but you know what? In season 1, you've just got to stay up. I don't think anybody is going to... and we've spoken about this strategy before. In season 1, you've just got to stay up. So we were talking about this a few times. If I was Leeds or whoever's coming up, Burnley, whatever, you've got a bit of money. If you can get yourself a goal scorer, get it. But primarily, build a spine of Premier League proven players that you can afford. And quantity is important. And if you can get people like James Ward-Prowse and Ross Barkley and Tarkowski and Ben Mee and people like that, and put them in your team and they can play 30 games, they'll stay up. You've got to get 35 points, 40 points, stay up. That's what you've got to do. And I think that's what I'd be looking to do. T.I. Anfield says, Sport Bible have posted about you. What have they said? Do you think Harry Kane will return to the Premier League after this season, says Dougie? I don't think he's coming back this year, is he? Do you think Forest will get back into this game? Look, it's 1-0, mate. 1-0. Like, in a game of football where it's 1-0, you should be able to come back. But the way it's looking at the moment, it's a very one-sided 1-0. God, the amount of people who are hating on Rasmus for posting that Instagram thing because he scored a goal. The world's a horrible place, isn't it? I mean, what do you want a Man United striker to do when he hasn't scored for ages? Acknowledging the fact that he needed a goal and that they're trying to, take the positives. Some people just want to see the world burn. Do you think Harry Kane will return to the Premier League after this season? I've not heard anything about him coming back this summer, Dougie. I would say that Harry Kane next season might return, but he's not going to break the Alan Shearer record anyway, so why would you rush to come back? He's 31. Next summer he'll be 30. This summer he'll be 32. Next summer he'll be 33. How many goals is he? How many behind Shearer? Harry Kane is currently 47 goals behind Shearer in the Premier League all-time goal-scoring list. I mean, he can do that. Come back next summer at 33 and score 47 goals before you're 36. He could do that at Brighton. He could do that at Brentford. Like, he can score 47 Premier League goals at 33, I reckon. So maybe he will come back and do that. But I don't think he's coming back this summer. I feel like the shine has been taken from Liverpool's title. 2 losses all season is very impressive. Not their fault City dropped off. Do you think they'll struggle next year with second season syndrome? You need to watch my videos, Sir J.K. Worthing, that I'm putting out after this. That would be really good. Take a look at Sport Bible. I've seen it, mate. It's clickbait. But what are you going to do about it? People have got freedom to write anything. It says Mark Goldbridge labels Bruno Fernandes disrespectful and shameful after seeing what he did against Bournemouth. What? You just got to ignore it, haven't you? I mean, the truth of it is, I think Bruno Fernandes is a massively important player for Manchester United, and he's crucial to us winning the Europa League if we're going to do it. What I said was, when we were losing 1-0 with 4 minutes to go, he had a shot from 40 yards, which was stupid and shameful and disrespectful, because we're trying to, you've got to rotate the ball. But there you go. Would you support a petition to ban Norwich, Southampton, West Brom and Leicester from the Premier League for 5 years? I'm sick of the yo-yos, says Goldio. But that's the parachutes, from yo-yo to parachute. That's the parachute payments, isn't it? They go down to the Championship with more money than everybody else in the Championship, so they're in a better position to come back. Look, the parachute payment system doesn't work. I think the Premier League needs to have relegation and meritocracy, and at the moment we don't have a relegation system. How do you change it? I've said so many times before that you've got Premier League clubs like West Ham, Manchester United, Tottenham, Everton. They're down. They're the clubs you've got to relegate. Like, look at them. They're there. I don't know why I'm looking down. They're there. So you've got West Ham. If Ipswich want to stay up, they've got to get West Ham down, or Tottenham down, or Everton down, or Man United down. Man United has got Bruno Fernandes in it. It's got Casemiro in it. It's got Harry Maguire in it. These are international players earning hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. West Ham, I've got Jared Bowen, Alvarez, Kudos, international players of quality. Ipswich have got Liam Delap. Like, the quality in depth of the Premier League is fantastic. But how does a Championship club stay up when they're playing against teams? I mean, even Brentford, can't even see Brentford there. They're not even a relegation candidate. This is why it's really important to stay up, survive, and then start buying them players yourself. Because it's so difficult for a Championship club at the moment to stay in the Premier League when you're up against squads like what West Ham have got, and Tottenham have got, and Man United have got. What's your thoughts on expensive ticket prices for fans, says Luke. I don't understand what... Have Man City fans been charged more than Forest fans or Villa fans or Crystal Palace fans this weekend? Or are they being charged more in general? Look, fans should make a stand when they're being ripped off. I think it's wrong that a footballer earns 300 grand a week and fans have to pay, £80 a week to watch it. Like, we should be... But it's supply and demand, isn't it? If someone's willing to pay it, then, but they're not willing to pay it. So maybe this is what needs to happen. So in some ways, we're taking the piss out of Man City, but if they're not turning up because of the price, we're all going, look at the empty seats. And Man City fans, if I was a Man City fan and I saw people taking the piss out of us because of the empty seats, I'd go, well, I don't really give a shit what anyone else is saying. It's the club that are losing money, and your message has been done. It's so obvious Amorim and Ange aren't good enough for the Premier League, says the Great Dane. Look at what Slot's just done, and managers like Emery with progress in less than a season. that opinion has got so many holes in it, mate. You cannot compare Amorim coming into Manchester United halfway through the season with Slot taking over Liverpool in pre-season. So Slot had a pre-season and took over a Jurgen Klopp squad which had Premier League and Champions League winners in it. Amorim has took over a Ten Hag squad that's a load of shit. So there's no comparison between the two there. I can't debate that. Do you think Son's going to leave Tottenham, says an average? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. If Kane scores 12 goals in 4 years, he'll beat Shearer, says Mr. Wars, which I think he will do. I don't think he needs to come back this year. Would you... anyway, Goldio said, would you support a petition to ban Norwich, Southampton, West Brom and Leicester? But if you ban those clubs, mate, you replace them with, what, Preston? What chance have they got? What chance have they got? What chance have they got? Apparently, Gary Neville said that United would finish in 4th and Liverpool in 5th. Well, I've got my Premier League reaction to my predictions to come in a few weeks' time. I know I said Man City were going to win the league, and I think I put Arsenal 2nd, but I think I put Liverpool 3rd. So I'm happy with that, because no one was predicting Liverpool were going to win the league. And I still might get the top 3, just in a wrong order. Both Spurs and United are underperforming, says the Great Dane. No shit, Sherlock. 5 realistic transfers for a newly promoted Premier League team, says Fuhad. Ward-Prowse. Ben Mee. Ross Barkley. Give me a striker that's realistic. Look, you need a bit of luck. You're not going to get like Liam Delap. You're not going to get Wizzer. You're not going to get those sort of people. I don't think you're going to get those sort of people. But there will be players that you can get hold of. Evan Ferguson might be worth a look at. Ramsdale in goal. Antonio might fancy it. Callum Wilson might fancy it. I mean, obviously, you need them to play. They've got to play 30 games. But those are the sort of players I'd be going for. Vardy, no. Absolutely not. No. Vardy is not a Premier League striker anymore. No. Jimenez would be brilliant. Yeah. Those sort of players, they're going to be worth their weight in gold. Definitely. Alanga's on for Forest here, second half. Champions League semi-final, first leg prediction, says Mohammed. Thanks for your super chat. We'll read those out if you do them. Barcelona go through against Inter. Arsenal PSG, I will predict it, but I will just give this first. I think it's so hard to predict. I'm going to say Arsenal. Arsenal-Barcelona final. Which I think would be hilarious for the Club World Cup, because neither of them are playing in it. But I'm going to go Arsenal against Barcelona. But what I will say about PSG against Arsenal is, if Arsenal don't have a 2-goal lead going into Paris, I think they might go out. And if Arsenal had the second leg at the Emirates, which I think they should have, then I think PSG would go out. So I think it favours PSG having the second leg. And I know it didn't with regards to Real Madrid, but I was speaking to an Arsenal fan, actually, and they said to me, I don't mind us being away for the second leg because it worked well against Madrid. But I said, no, normally having the second leg at home is a big, big advantage because whatever plays out happens in front of your fans. The reason it worked for you this way is because you had such a big lead from the first leg. You were like 3-0 up. So you got such a big lead, it works. But if you'd have only been 1-0 up or maybe 2-0 up against Madrid, that game changes completely. So I think that it's a little bit unfair that Arsenal have had to have so many games. I mean, look, my point is, and I've got it in front of me here. Arsenal in the Champions League have had to play both of their knockout games, second legs, away from home. They played Real Madrid, who finished 11th in the Champions League stage, so outside the top 8. And they're playing PSG, who finished 15th. Arsenal finished 3rd. So I think it's been a bit unfair. This should be a goal. What a miss. How has he missed that? How has Elanga missed that? Well, there you go. Oh, he's onside as well. Oh, I can't speak. I can't speak. It's a lovely cross by Hudson-Odoi into Elanga's path. And he's missed it. Goldio says, hands up who thinks Great Dane is Keys and Gray in disguise. Embarrassing opinions. Whatever he's drinking is mutilating his brain function. Yes, lads, UTV says, hi, Mark. Still lost for words on how bad we were yesterday. Huge missed chance for a piece of silverware. Well done, Palace. Thoroughly deserved. Well, that's very humble of you as a Villa fan, because I think there is absolutely no doubt that Crystal Palace did a job on Fulham in the quarter-final. And did a job on you, very similar. Brilliant defending, brilliant counter-attacking, and yeah, they deserve to win, but hugely disappointing from a Villa point of view. It's been a disappointing week for them, really. Man City in the league, and then that as well. Elanga missed the chance far up, yeah. Liverpool are heading towards the title. Just go over to that game. Have they kicked off for the second half? Yep, they've just kicked off. Just going into the 47th minute, and it's 3-1 there at Anfield. Remember, a draw for Liverpool wins them the league, but apparently they don't get the trophy today. Really weird. Hi, Mark. You missed my first super chat. Would you be surprised if Trent does a U-turn and commits to Liverpool? I think I would be, Alex, because... I mean, look, stranger things could happen, but I think he's going to go. Michael Schofield says, what are your thoughts on Gary Neville saying Liverpool are bigger than United? I very much doubt he said that, mate. In fact, I know he hasn't said that. So that's my thoughts on it. Let's get this stats carousel rolling around. I only needed to use that for a conversation, so we'll take that out. There we go. So Forest should be 1-1. What a second half we'd have had if Elanga had scored that. So that, you know, for those people saying, can Forest get back into it? Well, yes, they can. He said it on Sky. What's the context text? I'm having a look here. Liverpool have more European Cups and today will equal Manchester United's 20 league titles. The debate is over. Liverpool's success should cause pain and heartache. The painful thing to say is, unfortunately, the debate is over. They've won. Yeah, I mean, look, he's not, to be fair, he's not wrong. Like, my context is I feel Man United are a bigger club than Liverpool, but being a bigger club is not always just about trophies, is it? Is this going to be a penalty? I thought that might be given as a penalty for a handball there. Brilliant save by Sells, but I think it did catch the hand of the Forest player on the way through. Won't matter. 2-0. O'Reilly, game over. Vardiel, sorry. I can't believe Forest have conceded a corner to Man City. And it's like, unfortunately, Game over, lads. You had your chance at the other end. You didn't take it, and then they take it at the other end. I hate Man City. I hate your kits. I hate your players. I hate you. And I don't hate anyone, but I just don't. I don't like it. Tears is right. Bitter is right. I just can't stand Man City. Murillo gets caught underneath that one big time. Don't understand why Amrim out comparing to Slot isn't a valid opinion. It's all about opinion until people don't like what you're saying, says the great Dane. Don't understand why Amrim out and comparing to Slot isn't bad. I think you sort of like, I know you've done a super chat, so I will answer this, but you are dominating the chat when people want to talk about lots of other stuff with what is a really baseless argument, which I've politely explained to you. You're comparing Slot and Amorim to each other, and if you don't understand why that's got nothing to do with it, and even Liverpool fans are not going to jump on the bandwagon and go, oh, yeah, because Slot took over from Jurgen Klopp, who was building a really good team. And some of that team have won the Champions League and the Premier League. And Amorim is replacing a shit United side that's been shit for 10 years. So you can't compare the two. Also, Liverpool's a better run club than Man United. Also, Slot took over and had a pre-season. There's just no comparison. But you want to make a comparison, and there isn't one. Hi, Mark. Thank you very much, Alex. Do I think Wrexham will make it to the Premier League? I said 18 months ago that Wrexham have got more chance of winning the Premier League than Spurs. In fact, I think I said Wrexham will win the league before Spurs. And I got clipped up, took the piss out of, and, well, who's laughing now? Because Spurs aren't going to win the league next year. And the year after that, Wrexham might be in the Premier League. And then suddenly, are you going to tell me that Spurs have got more chance of winning than the Prem than Wrexham? So I was right. I was right. And to be honest, I'm surprised people didn't agree with me, because I looked at it and went, Wrexham have just been promoted from the National League. Spurs aren't going to win the league in the next 4 years. In 4 years' time, I think Wrexham will be in the Premier League, and then I think they've got just as much chance as winning it. Why are you streaming this and not the Liverpool game? Obvious reasons. I hoped that Man City would lose, and I knew Liverpool were going to win the league, and they're both rivals, so obviously I'd rather watch the one that I thought might lose. Yeah, it's as simple as that, really. Do I think Forest will come back from 2 down? No, absolutely not. I think I said Man City would win the FA Cup when they beat Bournemouth. Yellow card for Grealish, high foot. Not a red. Not a red. Tom Drake says, your streams always make me smile, Mark. I appreciate it. Thanks, pal. Appreciate that. Do you think City will return stronger next season, says Dimitri? I don't want to bring up the 115 because Man City are playing well and they're 2-0 up. And even though I do like to wind City fans up, I'm genuinely not looking to do that here. But what I'm answering an honest super chat. Sorry, it wasn't even a super chat. Will Man City come back stronger next season? It does depend on the 115, which hopefully by the start of next season we'll know the answer to. I've always said if Man City get found not guilty, they'll dominate football again. Because they've got the revenue, they've got the squad, of course they will. If they get found guilty, it's hard to say whether they'll be able to deal with that. So I think until we know, I think Arsenal will challenge for the title next year. I think Liverpool will challenge for the title next year. But I don't see how anybody can tell me whether Man City will or not until we know what's happening with that. And anybody who says they're not guilty or anybody who says they are guilty, it's pure guesswork at the moment, isn't it? It is. Like, we all know it's pure guesswork. I could sit here and wind you up and say, I'm hearing bad things for City fans. I'm hearing it's going to be bad, but I don't know why we haven't been told. Apparently Luke Shaw got man of the match for Man United on the fan forum. I think we need to send some P45s out. What we saying? Do you think if Ten Hag took over the same team Slot did, he would be in the same position and vice versa? No, the Snail. I think he's done an incredible job, Slot. Actually, I think some people... I think most people are probably not giving him the respect he deserves. Is Michael Oliver the referee today? Not even noticed him. That's quite good for him. Yeah, it's not Michael Oliver apparently. I think it is. Yeah, it definitely is, I can see. He's running... The reason some people can't tell if it's Michael Oliver is that he's actually wearing the number 22 for Man City. He's in a blue shirt. Paul Murray says Forest have been poor. You know, Man City deserve to win this game. In no way, shape or form am I insinuating anything about the referee. But I can't believe Michael Oliver is still allowed to referee Man City games. It's a piss take. Just go and have a read of everything he's done for Man City in the last 5 years. I can't believe they genuinely let him referee Man City games. And he's not done anything wrong in this game. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. He should not be allowed to referee Man City games. It's incredible. It really is. Advice for Palace to beat Man City, says Kim. Don't show them any bloody respect. You can beat Man City. Just don't. I just think Forest have shown them way too much respect. You've got to. You can't just sit back and let them have the ball. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to push them, and you've got to look to move the ball quickly. And you know what? Palace do that very well. Palace will be a better setup than City. Was it not Glasner who said after the Man City loss that they won't do that to us again? So I think it might be quite an interesting final. I mean, Man City will be massive favourites, of course they will, for obvious reasons. But Forest have not been able to deal with this today. I think if Forest, unless Forest had scored first, they were always going to struggle. Elanga, here we go. Come on. No, not good enough. But if Elanga had scored that chance, different game, innit? Sir Galahad, Grail Hunter, says, I honestly believe the City decision has been delayed due to the Club World Cup. FIFA cares more about them than football and fans. Of course they do, mate. Here's a question. And I'll do a poll on it. It's difficult because, obviously, might not have that many Liverpool fans in here at the moment. Actually, there's no point doing a poll. It doesn't make sense to do a poll on it. So, if Man City got found guilty and couldn't play in the Club World Cup, and they said to Liverpool, will you come and play instead? Do you think they'd do it? I can poll it. Would Liverpool replace City in Club World Cup? Yes or no? Because I'm not. I think if you're going to believe Sir Galahad's theory that they're delaying the decision till after the Club World Cup, it doesn't make sense, because what if Man City win the Club World Cup and then get found guilty? It demeans the Club World Cup. So surely FIFA would want to know before it, so they can get them replaced. So I'm not sure it makes a lot of sense. Would Liverpool want to be in the Club World Cup? 50 million quid would be the reason they would want to do it, but I also think it could be quite damaging for teams next season. I think Chelsea and Man City next season have got a very good reason to be quite knackered next year when everyone else has a full summer off. It's a lot of money. But it's a lot of football as well. It is going to be a lot of football. Would as a Liverpool fan, would you want to be in the Club World Cup? That's the thing. But money talks. I agree. A lot of people saying they'd go for the money. 50 million quid. Christina said they might be delaying the point deduction and give it to them at the start of next season. I actually think that's more, and they're all conspiracies, but I think that's more realistic than the Club World Cup, because good save by Sells. I think that from a FIFA point of view, I wouldn't want a team to win it who then instantly gets found guilty. Whereas if you're going to give them a points deduction, remember Forest and Everton got their point deduction done in season. And if you give Man City a points deduction now, they'd just miss out on the Champions League. Whereas if it's a Premier League punishment, you'd probably want them to miss out on winning the Premier League. And they'll probably miss out on the Champions League as well. What I'm trying to say is, if you give Man City a 15-point deduction now, Liverpool have already won the Premier League. So they only miss out on the Champions League. Whereas if you give them a 15 points deduction at the start of next season, they don't win the Premier League and they don't qualify for the Champions League either. 4-1 to Liverpool. But look, that's a conspiracy theory as well. You could flip it the other way around and say, Salah's scored there. You could flip it the other way around and say, maybe they want to announce they're not guilty at the end of the season to, you know, PR it that way. I don't know. Salah's just nicked a phone to take a photo. Oh, he's giving it back. Yeah, he's a fan favourite there. Nice moment for Liverpool fans. Can you... What? Can you play... Oh, sorry, Nicholas. I was trying to understand what you were talking about. He says, can you play with kids or have they got rules for that? Now, in life, there are rules about that. But I think you're talking about, can you play the Club World Cup with kids? FIFA won't let that happen. No way. Good finish by Salah. 4-1. Advice for Palace to beat Man City in the final. We've done that one. Morgan Gibbs-White has just hit the bar, hasn't he? Here we go. Would have been a good goal. It's not going to be Forest Day, is it? Alanga should have scored. Gibbs-White's nearly scored a worldie. And it would have been a worldie. It's just not going to be their day. Will you do a Brighton versus Newcastle watch-along, says Jake. When is it, Jake? I've not really had a look. No, because it's on the same time as Brentford versus Manchester United. Nuno's looking stressed, says Kevin. It'd be interesting if Forest got one back. Who do I want to win the Champions League, says Nicholas? Well, this is the glorious thing. I don't really want anybody to win it in the sense that it doesn't massively matter to me. I just want to enjoy it. Mark, you don't look upset about Liverpool winning 20 titles. I think you'd only be upset about it if it was a shock, Michael. I said Liverpool were going to win the league at Christmas, so I've done my therapy. It's not a shock, is it? Mate, if you've got shit owners running your club into the ground for 20 years, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to stop winning titles, and then that opens the door for your rivals. Who deserves to win the Champions League? The team that wins it. Forest have got Brentford on Thursday. If they win that game, they'll go back up to third. Kamikaze says, do you think having trash owners is any of your rivals' problem? Very weird, antagonistic and aggressive comment. No, I never said it was. I just said that our rivals, Liverpool winning league titles and Man United stopping winning league titles, is directly attributable to us being run badly. We're not going to win titles the way that we've been run. Liverpool have been run better. So it's not... The question was, why am I not sad about Liverpool winning the title today? Because it's inevitable. I don't live in a fantasy world. United are run badly and are not set up to win titles, and Liverpool are. They're going to take over our record. Of course they are. It's a logical question. Logical answer. What do I think of Jack Grealish? I thought he was a good player at Aston Villa. Not much more to say. It's quite a fair point as well. How many European Cups have Liverpool won? Is it 7? Oh my God. It's just not Forest Day. Gibbs White's just missed an open goal. Difficult angle, but they may as well just give up. They legit could have scored 3 goals in the second half. They've got none. Alanga's missed a sitter. Gibbs White's hit the bar from a really good shot, and then is it the post from an open goal? Let's have a look at this from Gibbs White. Playing out from the back, look. Gets there ahead of the keeper. Nah, he's got to score that. He has got to score that, to be fair. It's not an amazingly difficult angle. It's an angle, but it's not. 5-1 to Liverpool. Salah. Let's have a look. He's offside there, I reckon. Well, maybe the angle. It might be offside. Not that it matters. Thanks for all the super chats today. Absolute bloody legends. Grealish is coming off. I'll tell you what I genuinely think about Grealish. What went wrong? Like, he's just not anywhere near the player he was at Villa. And I don't know. You see him having, you know... You see him having pints and stuff like that. But he was such a brilliant player at Aston Villa in a team that was like relegation fodder. And, I mean, look, he's got winners' medals. And, you know, not many people are going to have those when they retire. But, yeah, I just think it's, yeah. Good player who I think could have been better. Reagan says, I'd take reputation over titles. I mean, Steven Gerrard, well, I suppose Steven Gerrard won a Champions League, didn't he? But look, I think when in 10 years' time, Jack Grealish won't be remembered as a great footballer. I think he'll be remembered as a footballer. I don't think he'll remember as a great footballer. And I think at Villa, if he'd have gone to the right club, I think he could have done it. But Forest have had chances here. They could have got back into it. And another clearance there. Why are Liverpool not lifting the trophy today, says Whoops. I don't know. I suppose you get more parties out of it, don't you? Like Liverpool are going to be celebrating winning the league tonight. And then they'll get... I sort of understand it, actually. I don't think it's massively problematic, really. They can celebrate winning the league today, and there'll be big parties about that. And then their next home game, they can actually have the trophy, can't they? So you lift it on the last home game of the season, says Gaz. There you go. I mean, I remember United, we've lifted it at, you know, away grounds. Sometimes it doesn't fall perfect. It's just not going to be Forest Day today, though. Unless they can get one back soon. In fairness, they've been the better team second half. You can say, oh, you know, Nuno this, Nuno that. But second half, they could have scored 3 goals. Man City have scored from a corner. I mean, to be fair, that's a little bit simplistic. Man City have had other chances as well. But, look, the FA Cup has become a little bit boring, and Man City have made the FA Cup boring. Their record is juggernaut when it comes to the FA Cup. Anthony says, I respect you for doing these watch-alongs. I sort of wish... Well, I wouldn't say I wish I hadn't, because you sort of, you know, it's the FA Cup semi-final. And I will do the final as well, because hopefully Palace will have a chance. The way City put up statue, Grealish will probably get one, says Nicholas McCory. Well, it's an interesting thing. We were having this debate down the pub a couple of years ago about Man City and how they, you know, if you go around the Emirates, you've got Tony Adams, you've got Thierry Henry. Obviously at Old Trafford, we've got the trinity of Law, Best and Charlton. And I think we could have a few more. And we were saying Man City in their, you know, desperation to be credible, at some point are going to have to start building statues. Aguero's clearly going to get one. But, and I can sort of see why it was a symbolic title. Was that their first title as well? Or had they already won one? I don't know anything about Man City's history. I don't know. Was that their first title when Aguero scored? Because that makes it even more annoying. It was their first. God. On goal difference. In stoppage time. Yeah, so Aguero would probably be the only one I think would get a statue. Here's Man City. They might have a third goal here. No, he's overrun it. Nunez. Man City's always a tough. I've said this so many times. And I remember speaking to Terry from the Football Terrace about this. Man City, in the content creation world, are renowned for being how do I put this politely? Least interest. When I worked at TalkSport, Man City were very rarely a topic. They talk about Spurs more than Man City. And I can talk about this sort of stuff because I didn't sign an NDA. So, literally, when we were doing the pre-production chats for my TalkSport show, you'd never get Man City in. Unless it was about Pep leaving or something like that. They'd rather talk about Spurs because it would generate more calls. Like, Man City are just not interesting. I don't know how you change that. That's not my problem. It's a fact. But, I mean, I've been doing this for a few years, and Man City watch-alongs are very rarely good unless they're playing against a good team and it's a good game. The way City put up a statue, Grealish will get one. That was from Nicholas. Okay, like, we've got 12 minutes to go here. Forest have got a cross coming in, headed away. How long have they got left at Liverpool? 77. They're a little bit behind there. Chelsea City was a great watch, yeah, that's what I mean. When it's against a good team with a bit of jeopardy and it's a good game, it can be good. But look, I've said this before, like Pep Guardiola is no doubt one of the best managers the game has ever known. And look, people would say I prefer Sam Allardyce to Pep Guardiola. And I understand why, because, you know, charisma or whatever. But the way Sam Allardyce coaches his team and the way Pep coaches his team is like reading Spot the Dog or reading War and Peace. There's a hell of a lot of work that goes into what Pep Guardiola does. They hit the post. Forest just hit the post again. Unbelievable. Just not going to be a day. There's a hell of a lot of work that goes into what Pep does. And he deserves huge respect. Lovely play by Mamouche. Could be one of the great... No, good defending. Milenkovic, very clever there. Yeah, hell of a lot of work that goes into what Pep does, and you can't disrespect that as a coach. He's obsessed, and, you know, he lives and breathes it. And there's coaches out there that just don't. But that doesn't mean, just because he does loads and loads and loads of work, that the way they play is easy on the eye. Some people like it. Some people find it quite dull to watch. But I agree with Carl. The problem is a lot of teams have now tried to, you know, copy Pep. And I blame people like Lineker and Match of the Day and Sky Sports for this. Because all these ex-players have told us just how amazing Pep is. But the actual football, even at Barcelona, I didn't like it. I found it difficult to watch. I found it too tiki-taka. I always preferred Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp to Man City under Pep. Like the style of football was easier on the eye. And I can't remember whether it was Klopp that called it. You know, Pep's football is like an opera and his is like rock and roll. And it's either or, isn't it? What do you prefer? Pep's style of football, I just find it a little bit boring. And it's nothing to do with Man City. I found it boring at Bayern and I found it boring at Barca. And I hope that football changes soon. And I think going back to Grealish and Doku and Savio, the amount of times they're on the bench because he doesn't like individualistic flair players, that's against what I like. I like people who take people on. David says, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, boring. Mate, what you're trying to do there is, and I'll give you some credit, I know what your plan is, you're trying to say I'm calling world-class players boring. Everybody knows that Xavi and Iniesta and Busquets are probably the best midfield three in the world. Doesn't mean the football they played was easy on the eye. You're confusing two different points there. They're world-class players. They're probably the best midfield three the world's seen. But did I find Pep's system boring? Well, all right, then I'll come back at you. Does Pep enhance careers of flair players? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Yes, he had Lionel Messi, but what, you know, Lionel Messi wasn't just an individual flair player, though, was he? Lionel Messi was like one of the, probably the world's best ever player who could pass the ball and run with the ball and could also take people on and score a goal by running past six players. I mean, you can't compare Lionel Messi to Jack Grealish. And Lionel Messi was a one-off. Thoughts on Doncaster Rovers season, Mark, says Goldio. You'd have to tell me what they did. 8 minutes to go. Woodsy says the real problem is there's something about Man City that just feels fake and artificial. I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm gutted that it wasn't our year, but I'm glad City hasn't won it again, says Woodsy. Well, let's see what happens next year. I think Arsenal, if they get that striker and they get Zubimendi, you'll be even stronger. But we don't really know what Liverpool are going to do as title holders. And as I said, I think the transfer window this summer is going to be really interesting. I also think as well, whatever Man City do, they've got to go and play a Club World Cup. And surely that's going to cause a hangover for Chelsea and Manchester City. Especially as both of them will be in the Champions League. Well, maybe not Chelsea, but I mean, Man City are going to play a Club World Cup. I mean, Man City have had a really hard season. They're going to play a Club World Cup and go into a really hard season. Who's that? What's Jack Grealish done to his eye? Why is Jack Grealish wearing a Forest top with big eyebrows? He does look like Jack Grealish, doesn't he? What's his name? Thoughts on Wrexham's odds to finish in the top half? What, of the Championship? At some point, I'll tell you this. At some point, Wrexham have got to change their manager. I went to watch them play Birmingham in the autumn. And Birmingham have a manager that actually does have quite a progressive brand of football. They try to pass and move. Wrexham, to me, are still a lower league team playing a lower league team sort of basic, direct football. They've got to change that. Now, maybe they have changed it. Maybe I'm being unfair, but from what I saw, they still play a bit of a basic brand of football. Alanga again. Good block by O'Reilly. Thoughts on Wrexham coming to the Championship, says Dean. As I said, I think Wrexham have got a great chance of getting in the Premier League, but I do feel they're going to have to change their brand of football at some point. Attendance is 72,000. That's 18,000 short of capacity then. 90,000, isn't it? Well, the empty seats are singing. There they are. They won't show you those. Let him play. Let him play. No, not a foul, that. Samuel Mills says, bye-bye Palace. Boring City Cup win again. I think Palace are better equipped to beat City than Forest, even though Forest have had a better season. I think when you look at Palace against Fulham and Villa, with 30% possession, they could have scored 5 or 6 goals. So we'll see. And I also think Glasner is more tactically adaptable than Nunez, than Nuno. So that doesn't mean they're better. I'm just saying, look, Man City will be huge favourites, but you never know. Do you think the fans will run onto the pitch at Anfield, says Aaron Thomas? I don't know. I don't know. Is that the sort of thing that Liverpool fans might do? 5 minutes away. Hey, look, Man City have had other chances to score, but let's not forget, Forest should have scored at least 2 in the second half. McVicker says, Wrexham 100% relegated next year. I don't think that's happening, mate. Whether they can get promoted or not. I think Birmingham City might double bounce, but Wrexham, I don't know. Might be one attack here for Forest. It's a bad ball. Langer's done well. Look, for Forest, the FA Cup final would have been good, but if they can get top 5 in Champions League football, I know winning trophies is more important, but Champions League football for them would be incredible. Be like a trophy. It really would. I am on the United stand at 8 o'clock tonight, yes. Looking forward to it. Thanks to everyone who subscribed, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Big week, big week, big week. Get involved. Get involved. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. But it's a big week. Champions League Tuesday night, Wednesday night. They were huge a couple of weeks ago. And I'm very excited about PSG versus Arsenal. My mate who's at Wembley just said, cheating bastard, seriously, I'm fuming. Both goals were offside. Yeah, here we go. Cunha, here we go this week, says Lee. Yeah, we'll be talking about that at 8 o'clock. I have a feeling it might happen. I missed the United game. Can you give me a breakdown on what happened, please, says Dean. A bit of a shit game. Draw was a fair result. Bournemouth didn't really do enough to win it. And as bad as United were, I think we were good for a draw. And actually, the referee was shit. I don't actually think the sending off was a sending off. I think the sending off in the first half that didn't happen was worse. But I'll take a draw. It's all about Thursday, isn't it? If we can not get beat in the Prem and keep winning in the Europa League, then I'll take that. On what has been a horrific season. But we're on That's Football. Liverpool are about to win the title, deservedly so. And Man City are about to get into the FA Cup final or into stoppage time here. Deservedly slow. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you saw the Bournemouth sending off. Look, somebody made a great point. If you slip and snap somebody's ankle in two, should you not get sent off because you slipped? So, yeah, I understand why the red card was given for that. But my point is, the one in the first half was deliberate. It was out of control. It was reckless. and it was dangerous. Oh, look at the City fans doing the bloody Poznan. I can't believe that they don't realise people think they're a bunch of twats when they're doing it. You're not winding people up. You just look stupid, and you pinched it off another club. Can you say happy birthday to Yamin Chowdhury? Happy birthday, Yamin. Hope you have a good game. Is that Liam Gallagher doing it? Oh my God, he really did fall off, didn't he? You've got back together. You're getting Oasis back together, and you're doing the bloody Poznan. Oh my God. Where's that definitely maybe picture? Definitely not. All your coolness just disappeared. The King of Rock. I nearly said the King of Cock, but he doesn't go that way. Unbelievable. I just think the Poznan is just a crap celebration. It makes you look stupid, and it wasn't even yours. It doesn't wind anybody up. It just looks it's cringe. That's what it is. You deserve to win. You've been a very good team over the last 10 years, but the Poznan is just odd. Would Liverpool fans start doing the Poznan? No, because they've actually got a bit of bloody integrity. Was there any way the bottom three could have stayed? Says Money Mindset. Not unless they're going to rewrite history. I don't think they were. No, I don't think they were good enough. Don't think they were good enough. Three FA Cup finals in a row for Manchester City. Yes. Connor says I Poznan'd your mum. So you like shagging dead people, do you? Weirdo. Well, we've got about a minute left here. Doku breaking down the wing. I have never seen a player. I like Doku, but... And I don't know what happened to St. Maximin, but he couldn't be more of a dribbler like St. Maximin if he tried. You know the lad at Newcastle? He just reminds me. You just never know what... I don't think he knows what he's going to do when he gets the ball. Odds of Poznan in the Champions League says important question. I'm not happy with. You know what I love, right? If you acknowledge something, apparently you get rattled by it. Like Man City fans genuinely think, and I'm just putting this out there, and I'm not going to say anything else because apparently if you talk about the Poznan, you're rattled by it. If you think something's cringe, you're rattled by it. But I think Man City fans genuinely think the Poznan winds people up and they're doing something cool. And I'm going to leave it at that. Because the more I talk about it, apparently the more I'm rattled by it. But I'm being honest, it's just a really cringe celebration. Thanks everyone for watching. Man City into their third FA Cup final, but they won't be winning the Premier League this year. They're into the FA Cup final, but they won't be winning the Premier League this year because Liverpool are about to win the Premier League by a very long way. So that's probably why Man City fans didn't turn up, really, because they're bitter and twisted about the fact that they're not the best team in England anymore. So Liverpool are about to win it. You can turn on and watch that. I'm on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I can't watch Liverpool winning the title. I just can't. Take care. I have got a video coming out about Liverpool winning the title, though, and it's going to come out literally in a minute. So check that out. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and I'll speak to you all a little bit later. Thanks. Take care. Stay safe.